Hello, my name is Amar Srinivasa and I'm a gastroenterologist and PhD researcher at the University of Birmingham and Sandwell and West Birmingham NHS Trust. I'm delighted to share our paper, published in Endoscopy, on behalf of my co-authors, Felicity Evison, Roland Valori, Eva Morris and Nigel Treadgill. Our paper is titled Survival Outcomes for Post-Endoscopy Upper Gastrointestinal Cancers in England. Post-endoscopy upper gastrointestinal cancers, or PEUGIC, are cancers diagnosed between 6 and 36 months after an endoscopy that did not diagnose cancer. They represent an important measure of endoscopy quality, but until now there has been very limited population evidence on how these patients fare in terms of survival. The data that did exist were conflicting and drawn largely from single-centre cohorts. We wanted to address that gap using national data and also examine the epidemiological biases that make survival comparison in this group so challenging. We studied approximately 100,000 patients diagnosed with upper gastrointestinal cancers between 2009 and 2018, of whom 9,000 were PEUGIC. On the surface, PEUGIC patients had better survival than those with detected cancer. However, this headline finding is misleading. When we stratified by pre-existing Barrett's esophagus, the picture changed substantially. Almost all of the survival advantage was driven by patients undergoing Barrett surveillance, who were diagnosed at much earlier stages, with nearly 40% diagnosed at stage 1, compared to only 8% of PEUGIC without Barrett's. When we exclude the Barrett's cohort, survival between PEUGIC and detected cancers was broadly similar, and this was the same for esophageal squamous cell carcinomas and gastric cancer, where there was no survival difference at all. We also showed how lead time bias, immortal time bias, and selection bias materially shape the apparent survival benefit. This matters because it tells us that crude survival comparison risks being misinterpreted as a quality signal when much of the effect reflects surveillance and bias rather than improved cancer outcomes. This work supports the ongoing case for high-quality Barrett surveillance and earlier diagnostic pathways. Our group is now using the National Root Cause Analysis Project to understand exactly why PEUGIC occur, how to prevent them, and getting a more granular understanding of survival outcomes in this patient group. Future analysis will need to incorporate cause-specific mortality and methods that explicitly mitigate these biases we describe. In summary, PEUGIC appeared to have better survival than detected upper GI cancers, but this is largely explained by Barrett surveillance and epidemiological bias rather than true prognostic advantage. Careful interpretation is essential when these outcomes are used as endoscopy quality metrics. I'd like to thank my co-authors, the National Cancer Registration and Analysis Service, the patients who make this study possible, and the team at Endoscopy for the opportunity to share this work. Thank you for watching.